Imagine someone offered you $10 million, but there was one condition. You could never use your phone again. Would you take it? Most people say yes, but deep down, would you actually? That's how powerful our relationship with technology has become. Today, I want to talk about something that's shaping every one of our decisions every single day, and that's dopamine. Not the social media version that we hear online, but the real version of dopamine. Happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, from Marcus Aurelius. And that's going into our brain wasn't built for infinite choices. Humans evolved an environment where we had relatively limited choices when we were in kind of like the caveman days, as you could say. We woke up, we either decided to go hunt, eat, sleep. There wasn't many choices we could be able to do. Maybe we go and get berries, or maybe we go hunt. There was very limited choices. Now we have infinite amount of foods we could have. People can't decide if they want cereal or toast for breakfast. There's so many different variants you can put on your toast. You wake up and you're instantly hit with 50 notifications. You're instantly hit with a whole bunch of things going on social media. And within the first 10 seconds of your morning, you already make more decisions than someone would make in their entire day in the caveman times. And our brain was made for that kind of time. Our brain wasn't made for us now. We make so many decisions each and every day that is probably similar to the amount of decisions someone would make in the entire lifetime in caveman times, because they didn't have many choices. They didn't have much to choose from. It's not even the amount of choices we have to do, but we've got so many notifications, we've got so many tabs, we've got so many recommendations that are fighting for our attention. Back then, you didn't have people have their salary rely on your attention. They didn't rely on you having to buy their product. To keep your attention hooked on what you're doing, they're making it personalized to you. This causes decision fatigue, which is just very real. Some adults make tens to thousands of decisions per day. Is your attention directed by you, or is it designed by someone else? Because everything's competing for your brain. Imagine going through a supermarket. Every product is fighting for your eyes. Every product is designed to catch your attention. And that's just each product is trying to get you to buy it. Now imagine your phone. Every app has teams of psychologists, designers, and engineers trying to win your attention. Even to the little things you don't think about, the way they design your notifications to make you want to go onto that app, the way they design infinite scrolling, the way that they already know what the next 5 videos are going to be to convey an emotion to keep you hooked on the app. Be able to have autoplay and some other video services as well to make you never want to leave. Some apps have streaks to keep you wanting to keep going and make sure you're there the next day, even to the littlest things. Like I have a app that helps me like stretch, that keeps me flexible. They use this kind of software to make you feel like you're getting somewhere, you're achieving, you're making progress, because that's what humans want to see, is to make progress. I don't know if you see many YouTube videos, but they almost convey the video structure so you're making progress through the video. And having variable rewards, that could be in games where you're leveling up and you're getting rewards, so you once again feel like you're making progress. Remember, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Nothing's free in this world. A lot of people get wrong is dopamine isn't pleasure. Dopamine isn't the pleasure chemical. What dopamine is, it heavily revolves around motivation, learning, and anticipating a reward. What dopamine does is, say you feel like something's sweet, as an example, your dopamine triggers and you get the motivation to want to go and find the sugar, say it's a treat. Your body gets that motivation to move and focus your attention to wanting to be able to. It's anticipating the reward of doing it. If you complete that goal, your dopamine goes up a little bit, and then it goes back down lower than where your baseline was. That's why you usually feel worse after you do something. That's obviously the other way around. If you do something hard, something like a workout, that no one wants to do a workout at the beginning, but why you feel so good is it's because the seesaw is tilted the other way around. You put it on the hard side, so when that workout is done, it's tipped back, so you get even more pleasure. When you do something hard and you get that spike in pleasure after doing the hard work, say it's a workout, ice bath, cold shower, that high stays higher for a longer period of time as well, which is great because when you have a sugar, it goes up and then back down really quickly. If you do, say you do drugs or say you game or whatever, and it keeps coming back down, so it wants you to keep doing more. That's why you get stuck in a loop. Another example could be, say, an influencer or someone that does Instagram, let's say, and they open Instagram, see that like notification, maybe they gain followers, got likes or whatever, and it's going up quick, so they refresh, it's going in, and they're anticipating and waiting for that another one that keep winning, Even just opening that phone before even opening that Instagram, that's anticipation for the reward. That could be a lot of different things on the phone, because if you've checked your phone without even thinking, you're fallen into this trap. The successful among us delay gratification. This is why a normal life feels boring. People go from watching TikTok, scrolling as an example, they also watch short videos, say, get that quick hits of dopamine. I don't really like using that term, quick hits of dopamine, but also gaming. Maybe you've got constant music going on. Maybe you can't even be able to go for a walk without listening to music. You need that constant stimulation. That makes the boring tasks so much harder to do. What normal life should be, you're at school doing that homework, would be so boring to do without even music. I'm sure a lot of kids nowadays have to have a YouTube video going on while they're doing their homework because they need that constant stimulation. Reading feels boring because we've got TikTok. Walking feels boring, and conversations feel boring. We've gone so many years without this kind of stuff. Maybe life isn't boring. Maybe your brain is just accustomed to constant stimulation. Boredom is a superpower. Isaac Newton developed many of his ideas while isolated during the plague years. Whether or not boredom alone caused his breakthroughs, history repeatedly shows that interrupted thinking time has enormous value. Going for walks, it not only just walking and clearing your mind gives you enormous value, but in the neuroscience kind of way, when you're not on your phone going for a walk, no music, it's just you. Your brain works at 1,000,000 miles per hour to work on the things that you're learning, or maybe something you're doing at work, studying at school. It's processing it and putting it into your brain for memory as well. That works with sitting quietly. That also works if you're in a line at the supermarket or somewhere. You're in a line, instead of pulling out your phone or waiting for an appointment, you just sit there quietly. Maybe you're on long drives. And shower thoughts. If you don't have that music going on, not for some reason watching a video while you shower, let your brain go, because it's finally having that time to rest. And that's what it should be 90% through the day. And back to the boredom is a superpower. There's a guy I've been watching a lot on social media. I love his content. His name's called Luke Proof. He's proof that doing that hard work, just continually in boredom, showing how much you can do in 15, 18, 7, 100 hours of work, continuous work, and just being bored and doing the hard work. He shows it's not easy, but it's simple. Anyone can do it. The other day I saw him do the I can't remember what it's called, the song I used to watch people do it on the piano, but it was like the B song or whatever, and he did on the clarinet. And I remember seeing the comments in clarinet, people going crazy. Like, he should not be able to do that, but he's proof that anyone can do that if they just put their mind to it and do the hard work. Obviously, it's not easy. There's a reason why he's doing it and no one else can. But it's simple, because all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Your phone is training your brain. Every notification teaches your brain to interrupt what you're doing, check, you get that reward, and then you repeat. It trains your brain like how you train your dog, the exact same way. It's almost the exact, I never thought this, but it's the exact same way you train your dog. You'll get your dog to do an action, you slowly get him to realize what it is, you give him dopamine for doing the action, and he does it on repeat. You're almost a dog for the big companies out there. You see that notification, you see that video, and you get stuck in that reward loop. Because when was the last time you finished 1 hour of deep work? Realistically, I should say 3, 4, 5 hours, something that is hard. But even just 1 hour of deep work without even checking your phone at some point in there. Because some people check their phone up to even 100 times per day. That is absolutely crazy. Instead of telling you you're doing everything, let's talk about something we can do to fix this. The most important part is the first hour of your day. Pretty much dictates the rest of your day. Obviously, you can change it, but it dictates the motive for your day. And if you win the first hour and stick to it, you're going to have an amazing day. So the first thing and foremost importantly is no phone. No dopamine, no getting tricked into that dopamine cycle at the start of the day. You know, you had that sleep, you've had your reset, and you're instantly getting bombarded with millions of information that you don't need to know. Even better if you can start your day without even the phone in your room, but just don't go on your phone for the first hour. Get that morning sunlight, get that workout in, as we talked about in episode 2. Get that movement. If you need to, journal, breakfast, shower, and instead of going on your phone, just read. It's not hard. Like, everyone can get books for free at the library. I don't want to hear anyone's excuse that they use their phone for their alarm. I literally have a $20 alarm clock that's across my room, so I have to get out of bed. You know, anyone can get one of those cheap alarms. You don't need to rely on your phone. Worst case, just use your computer. Computer's hard to use in your phone. So who owns the first hour of your day? Is it you or your phone? How many days do you win when you start the day? Or how many days does your phone win when your phone starts the day? You don't rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems. Your environment always wins. Like I said, charge your phone outside of your room at night so you don't wake up to it, you don't fall asleep on it. Worst case, put on the other side of your room if you need it that badly. And if you are using it for an alarm, then at least you have to get up to the other side of your room, but don't use your phone in that first hour. Delete distracting apps. Definitely go through a clear out on your phone and delete all those apps that you don't need. There's also an app, obviously not sponsored or anything by it. I don't even know the name, so I can't tell you. But there's actually an app that gets rid of the Reels tabs on Instagram. It gets rid of the Shorts tab on YouTube. At worst case, if you want to use those apps, at least have that. You should turn off all notifications you don't need, even if you could turn off everything but your messages and just say, if you need to contact me, to the important people, here's my phone number, text me on that. You don't need to know all the other notifications. Someone that has like 100 notifications, that looks crazy when you get news that doesn't even involve you. Make the good habits obvious. If you look at your environment, look around in your room, is what you want to achieve obvious to you? If you look around in the spaces you spend your most time and what you're distracted by the most is the most obvious thing, then you should maybe rethink your environment and the way things are laid out or shown, and make the bad habits inconvenient. Even example in the kitchen, say you have something that you constantly snack on that's bad because it's right there, obvious, it's hard to miss. Make it inconvenient, make it difficult. You have to go out your way. You have to really think about it to be able to get it. At worst case, the people that are successful in life, as an example, they are not the one that has the cake obvious in the fridge, right at the front, right there to grab, easy, and resist the temptation of being able to have the cake. But they're the people that don't buy the cake, or the ones that hide it as much as they can in their fridge so they don't see it, they don't get the anticipation for it. A lot of people online talk about dopamine detoxes. They're obviously a very popular trend. Not, I don't know, as much as what they used to be the last couple of years. Dopamine detoxes are great, but they don't fix everything. One weekend won't change your life because the addictions go over a 4-week period of time, and the hardest period is going to be that first 2 weeks. And most people relapse in those first 2 weeks. Once you get over that 14-day bridge, it does get easier, especially once you hit that 1 month. It gets so much easier because what a dopamine detox, it's not about eliminating your dopamine. You can't do that because it's a chemical part of your brain. It's part of your neurobiology. It's part of everything. The point of the dopamine detox and doing it correctly is about reducing the unnecessary stimulation and rebuilding healthier habits over time. If you can't even spend 1 hour in a room alone without your phone, just your thoughts, could you spend 1 hour alone in a room, no phone, just your thoughts? If you can't even manage that, I think you've got to think about dopamine detox. It's not something that's just you. Everyone's like this. It's tricked in our brain. That we've got people that are psychologists and neurobiologists that work on this to get paid to trick your brain. It's not you, but it's an easy fix. It's not easy, but it's simple. Your attention is your life. Tell me what you pay attention to, and I'll tell you who you are. I said this in the last podcast, and it's so strong. If you're someone that's when they're bored for 5 minutes, they quickly go on their phone and scroll. That says a lot about who you are. Instead of someone that's in a very boring situation, they got their phone in their pocket, but they decide to pull out a book and read that instead, or have a conversation to the people around. Because your attention becomes habits, habits become character, and characters become your future. At the end of your life, what has your attention built? Now going into the upgrade 5, got 5 questions from the comment section of my latest article. That's a paid article on my Substack. Premium members get to ask questions. First question is, what is one habit you have quit that improved your life more than any habit you started? I think the habit that I've quit that has improved my life more than anything is, I don't know if this is really a habit, but it's stop caring about what people think. And I think I got quite lucky that because I did TikTok at a young age, got, I guess, humiliated in a way. Obviously, it was very cringy. In a way, I regret doing it, but in a way, I'm happy it happened. I'm glad it happened in the sense that, obviously, when I was getting, not attacked, but made fun of for what I was doing, which was completely fair, by the way, I would do the same. Going through that and going years past and realizing that no one cares at the end of the day, no one cared that I was doing it. No one cared more than me. It didn't matter to them. It was just something they saw and whatever. They moved on with their day. They didn't care. They forgot in 20 seconds, you know? It's even something I didn't even realize until last year, maybe even this year, fully, that I just don't care what people think. They're just not even thinking about me all the time, so it doesn't matter what their opinions are. It's obviously good to take it on board, but don't let it affect you. Question, if every app on your phone disappeared tomorrow, what would you spend your time doing instead? Oh my God, I just realized my key light hasn't been on this whole time. All right, so now you got a glowing version of me for the last 5 minutes. But like I said, if everything deleted my phone, I think what would I spend my time doing? I'd just be doing a lot more of what I'm doing. And I would have a lot more time to read as well. I would be reading so much more. 100% going for walks more. I almost kind of wish it happens, which I guess that's in my control. Third question, do you think technology is making us smarter or just more informed? This is interesting because it actually correlates with something that I saw the other day. I'm just trying to remember. It was about AI, and it was saying AI is going to make it's going to make the smarter people smarter, and it's going to make the dumb people dumber, if that makes sense. The people that are going to rely on everything on AI, they're going to stop using their brain. They're going to be more not the smartest, you know? And they're going to stop using their brain. It's probably going to cause a lot more people to have dementia because then their problem-solving abilities is just going to disappear. But it's the people that use AI in the right way and make them save time using it, but they still study, they still read, they still learn, they still problem solve. It's just going to save time for them, and they're going to get so much more smarter. If you could guarantee your children inherit one habit from you, what would you choose? I think it would be the habit of being obsessed over learning. What's something you know is bad for you, but you still struggle to stop doing? I think it's obvious. I think it's just getting stuck on my phone, which is what we're talking about now. I'm going to be taking this advice on board. It's just sometimes I feel like if I start my day on social media, it gets stuck for the rest of the day. Not the whole day. I still make sure I get my 3 tasks done for the day, so I'm keep moving forward. But like my bad days would be the higher the screen time. And the final quote by William James: we become what we pay attention to. Because your future isn't determined by your intentions, it's determined by what consistently captures your attention. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and I'll see you next week.